We want to thank them for being here. This is an unscheduled guest, so please thank them.
Thank you, Patricia.
Uncle Frank's rather shy.
Okay.
Like at this point is to hear the story of Anna about it, right? Okay, so if you could start what kind of person she was.
Mrs. Corbin, Anna Corbin. Yeah, she was a real nice lady. Everybody loved her. Including most of the wards that worked with her and came in contact with her. She was one of the finest ladies that I ever met. And it's kind of hard to remember way back then, but she was real gentle with the wards. I mean, she was real good. And it's a shame that things had to happen the way they did.
What was her duties here?
Well, she was the head housekeeper in charge of ladies that worked in the building. There were living quarters up on the second floor and third and fourth floor, and they had housekeepers with wards that were assigned to the housekeepers. And she had charge of them. Also, she had charge of the housekeepers that worked in the superintendent's home and the 2 assistant superintendents' home. And she was in charge of them.
And what happened on the day that she was murdered?
Well, the day she was murdered, she left her office someplace, I couldn't find it down there. She left her office to go to lunch during the noon hour. And this young man, Monroe, he was an orderly, what we call an orderly, and he could get a pass to go down and take wards here or there and so on. And he went down to the hospital, and for some reason he never had a pass for that ward to be released from the hospital, but he somehow maneuvered that guy out, the young man out, and they came up here during the noon hour. Well, what was going to take place was a homosexual act, but unbeknownst to them, Mrs. Corbin came back for something, and she discovered him, and at that time, of course, nobody knows except that young man that came out of the hospital, and Monroe, of course, but nobody knows how it started. She caught him, he beat her and kicked her to death. And she was a mess, her head, her body, and when I saw her, she was right back there.
Okay, just give me 1 second there. Where the chair is, in the middle of the crowd right there, can you stand up there? Okay, there's a chair right in front of her. That's where Frank...
Okay, so they called you down to see the body, or did you?
No. I was asked to come down to do something, and I saw her body, and there. She was laying on her back with her arms millions of ants already. It didn't take long. They came out from the walls there, because there was boxes along there, storage boxes, a lot of them, and over here. And that's where she was found. The way she was found, it was a housekeeper came down at 1 o'clock or a little after 1 o'clock from her duties up above to talk to Mrs. Corbin, and she discovered the body, not me. I didn't discover it.
Okay.
How long after she discovered it did you come down?
Oh, about a half hour or so.
About a half hour.
Yeah. And
Okay, and I just want to understand this and kind of tell everybody. She was kind of like a mother figure here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody.
very nice.
Yeah, everybody.
Wards liked her.
Yeah.
Staff. Oh, yeah. Very nice person.
Did you have a lot of interactions with her?
No.
Did you talk to her occasionally?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you knew everybody that worked there. Bump into each other.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what were you saying about the shoes that you found? You found some shoes?
Well, that night, all the wards were confined to quarters, and I went down, I and another man by the name of Johnny Dodd went down to C Company where Monroe was assigned, and they were all up in bed. And I went to Monroe's locker and found his shoes. He'd polished them. He'd polished his shoes, but around the rim of the shoe, where the sole connected to the top of the shoe, was blood. And so I brought the shoes up, turned them over to the sheriff's office, and they took care of them from then on. So,
That's pretty incriminating
Yeah.
evidence, though.
oh yeah, but they couldn't, the state couldn't get enough blood or anything, or they didn't have the ability to identify her blood and that blood on her shoes. So,
Oh, during those times they didn't have
Yeah.
the DNA?
Yeah, they didn't have the
no,
technology then.
yeah, they didn't have,
So did you follow the trial at all?
no. Yeah, I had to testify
Did
and
you?
so on, yeah. And there was a trial here in Jackson, and there was one man that hung the jury, and he lived here in Ione, and he hung the jury, and we had to have another trial in Sacramento, and that's when the young man was acquitted. But the man that hung the jury up here, he got run out of town.
That's something.
They put so much pressure on him, and he got death threats and so on.
Sure.
Yeah,
What about the young man that was being molested? Did he testify?
yeah. They transferred him over to Placerville. That young man that Monroe picked up at the hospital. They transferred him over to Placerville to juvenile hall over there, and he testified both here in Jackson and in Sacramento.